My next guest is going to be headlining UFC Fight Night on July 15th. UFC Fight Island, I should say. He's going to be taking on Dan Ige. It's Calvin Kattar back here on the program. Calvin, how are you, man?
Doing good, James. Thank you. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. Where are you headed to right now for people who are probably wondering why you're in the car right now? And by the way, you're not driving, so can't get in any trouble.
Yeah, Uncle T. He's driving. We're on our way to Recon MMA to go wrestle with Macho, John Dupree, at Recon MMA in Maine. Yeah, we'll come out here every time. Come out here every couple times a week and just get some wrestling in. And yeah, just trying to get ready for Fight Island.
How good of a driver is Tyson? Be honest.
Honestly, he's impeccable.
That's great. Good to know. Because I was going to say, if you said he was a bad driver, he might start steering you off the road. So,
but then again, man, some of these, like, you could be like too safe of a driver where it becomes somewhat dangerous. He's borderline that guy. You know, like he'll slow down at the yellow light, and the guy behind him might rear end him because you stopped way too early on that. You know, he's like that too safe of a guy.
I like it. Let's talk about this fight. Dan Ige, was he always the opponent? How did this matchup come together? I'm curious about that.
He's the opponent for this one they offered, but other than that, it's never really about the opponent, man. It sounds cliche, but it's really me versus me every day. I face the opponent. You know, Dan Ige, I'm only facing him on July 15th. Right now, it's, you know, me getting my ass to Maine, getting these wrestling rounds in with Macho, and then you know, some hill sprints later, just getting in this work, and yeah, just trying to be the best we're going against.
Did you know that Pedro Munoz and Frankie Edgar were supposed to be the main event? Were you aware of this?
I heard that, and then I believe Frankie didn't want to fight 5 rounds or something like that.
Well, I was going to say, you must be happy because I know you like having the longer rounds. I mean, your cardio is something you're known for.
Yeah, I'm happy. Really, it's a big moment opportunities. Like I said, I want more of them, and to have another main event, 2 fights after the last one, is a great opportunity, and we jumped right at it.
You're always hungry no matter what the opponent, what the fight is, but you got the new contract. I got to imagine, you know, you got to feel a little bit more pumped up heading into this fight, knowing the UFC's really backing you and they gave you such a big contract.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice byproduct of me going in there and winning. You know, that happens when you go out and you know, just focus on each session, put in the work, and good things come. You do enough good things, eventually one great thing will happen, and you know, that's what we're doing right now, man. We're putting in the work and expecting the results.
And a pretty quick turnaround for you. And I know you like to keep active, but was this sort of what you were planning on happening? Like, did you want to get a fight right away after the last one, or would you have preferred a little bit more time off?
I did want to have a busy 2020. You know, my goals were to go 3-0 this year, and it was a tough start with the pandemic, and you know, we got one off in May. So. You know, with that timeline, of course, you would have to probably get back in there somewhat soon. But Fight Island, that's where I thought I was going to be fighting during the pandemic, you know. And then all of a sudden, they have me fighting in Jacksonville, Florida. I thought we were going somewhere cool, fighting on like a hangar or like you know, some crazy shit, Fight Island even. And so now it's kind of fitting that I have that opportunity, and it's great that it's the main event this time.
Because you're fighting so close to the last one, how do you go about not overtraining? Is that something where you're listening to your coaches? Do you listen to your body? How do you know not to overdo things?
I never know how to not overdo things. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I go all in, man. A lot of times, Tyson, Mr. Safety, pulls me back every now and then, and you know, talks some reasoning and me saving it for the next session, things like that. But I think it's important for a fighter to have that go mode. I think you get a lot further with that mindset than a lazy mindset, you know. So it's a good balance we have here, and a great opportunity ahead of us.
How do you look at this matchup with Dan Ige from a style perspective?
From style perspective, he brings a lot to the table, but you know, I feel like I'm ready wherever the fight goes, and you know, we'll see what opportunity he presents. But he's a well-rounded fighter, and he brings a fight. And I feel like that's my MO. So should make for a hell of a fight and a great main event.
And I know some people felt like the last fight he had against Edson Barbosa, you know, maybe should have gone the other way. But regardless, he's on a 6-fight win streak. Why do you think so many opponents have had trouble defeating Dan Ige?
It's a good question. Yeah, I felt like that one could have gone either way, or the last 2 could have gone either way, to be honest. But I mean, when you put 6 together in a row, you're doing something right. and I'm just gonna put a stop to that come July 15th. You know, six is enough, man.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And you fought a lot of guys in your career. Is there any opponents that remind you of Ige in terms of past opponents, maybe in terms of preparation, things like that?
Yeah, Rob Font. It looks exactly like Rob Font.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I didn't even think of that. That's
right?
That's interesting.
It looks exactly like him. So it's pretty funny, man. I told Rob, like, while you're rehabbing, because I need the look.
Yes, no, for sure. And I was going to ask you about that as well. Obviously, like you mentioned, Rob's still recovering from his injury. Is that like, how do you adjust to that? Because I know he's one of your main guys.
Yeah, you know, we adjusted with it for the Germany fight too. We had 5 months of training, you know, leading into that one, and just he's a great training partner, and I think the kid's a genius, man. You know, his knowledge of the sport, I really think he's gonna shine even later in his career with the coaching. You know, aside from how talented he is as a fighter, but you know, there's other guys that are a part of the team that stepped up and just helped get me as ready as possible. You know, I have a great team around me, and I'm a product of their, you know, combined efforts get me ready each fight, and added to a little bit of self-motivation with, you know, the daily shit we go through every day. There's enough motivation for me to go in there every day and just punch some shit and get ready for a fight.
Who are some of those names? Because, you know, nowadays, especially, like, we're hearing about a lot of these guys ending up on the regional scene or in contender series. And any up-and-comers that we should be keeping an eye on?
So, coaching-wise, it's just, you know, the guys, you know, Tyson Chartier, Carlos Neto, Jake Manini, and John Dupree. And then, of course, man, the UFC PI is really stepping up, helping us out, working with Bo for strength conditioning out there, and just in contact with them. So they're a huge help. But aside from that, Kyle Bokniak's been coming in, Crash. He's been giving me some work. I'm happy to see him back in the gym. You know, he's given the practices, you know, just a good vibe. You know, all around. It's good to see him back in the gym with us. And yeah, so you could expect him coming back and making some waves. I think he'll be back soon.
Good. That's good to hear. And I know, you know, the weight cut, obviously, I know you do have to sort of really sort of map it out to get down to 145. Because you had that fight last year internationally, are you feeling a lot better about the weight cut heading into this fight just because you already went through that last year fighting in Russia?
Man, weight cut's a weight cut. You know, it's just like, it's always going to suck. You know, it's never going to be like great. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's part of the job. And the good thing about going through the weight cut is that by the time you start really, really cutting it, you only got about, you know, 24 hours before you can eat again. So it's like, it's my motivation to get through the cut. And being international, like one of the takeaways I wanted from Russia was like I couldn't see anything because we had arrived on fight week. You can't really see much, you know, just the hotel room and a whole bunch of media, especially being the main event. So I was hoping to try to, you know, come a little early or stay a little late, and then just be able to see where I'm traveling to. How cool it would be to experience a little bit more Dubai, you know, rather than hanging around at your house, not really working out too much crazier than you would be if you were already in Abu Dhabi, kind of sightseeing a little bit, you know, without the hectic pace that fight week sometimes brings. But can't really do that this time either. So we're just rolling with the flow and going with the flow, and we're just gonna make the best of, you know, getting tested 4 times at least, with five times for corona, and a 24 hours probably of total flying time from Boston to eventually get to Abu Dhabi, and then that's it, man. Then we got to fight. So yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited to see Abu Dhabi, you know, Yas Island, and I just wish I could, you know, bounce around a little bit more while I'm out there.
Who's going to be making the trip down there with you? Obviously Tyson, who's with you in the car, but who else will be in your corner?
Yeah, so I said I got Tyson, Carlos, Jake, and Rob, the 4 horsemen. We're all going to be going out there, and should be a good group.
Cartel takeover, as they say, right? It's going to be good.
Yes, Cartel takes over Fight Island, man. I can't wait.
How's the fight unfolding, in your opinion? How do you see it playing out on July 15th?
Man, let's just take whatever this kid gives me. That's how it is with everybody. You know, I see myself getting my hand raised always, and then from there, you know, I can see it ending a lot of different ways. I know people just see me as a power puncher, and this kid's a black belt, so they wouldn't expect a submission or anything like that. But I'll take whatever this kid gives me, man. I'm ready to fight, and I just can't wait to get in there.
So obviously big fight here. When I talked to Alexander Volkanovski, interviewing him before the Holloway fight, he pretty much said that, whoever looks the most impressive out of all these upcoming fights, he thinks will get the next title shot. Is that kind of what you think too, where, if you go out there and finish Dan Ige, regardless of where Zabit is, where, Korean Zombie is, anyone like that, do you feel like that could potentially propel you up into a title shot?
That'd be nice, but if not, I'll take whoever they think performed well enough to get there, and I'd like to take that guy out. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a contender spot for something like this, but really it's Dan Ige right now. He's got my full attention. I take him out. I'm in good position, to face the guys ahead of me, and they'll get their shot. They'll get their term soon enough.
What did you think of the Josh Emmett and Shane Burgos fight? One of the fights of the year.
I was in the gym training. I saw a good chunk of it, and the parts that I saw was pretty badass. It was a great fight. Shane's a tough kid. Took some big shots and gave some, but Emmett did what he had to do. Too bad he's all busted up now, man. But that's what happens when you get into fights like that, man. Great fight though, great fight, and I got to rewatch that along with the Poirier and
Hooker fight. Yeah, pretty
Hooker
incredible
fight, man. I heard about that one too, but I was training. I'm trying to get used to that Abu Dhabi time.
I know with a lot of fighters, when they fight someone, they sort of root for their opponent. Some of them don't, but I know some do as well. When you see a guy like Burgos, show an iron chin in a fight like Josh Emmett, whereas you finished him, do you kind of feel a little bit better about that win, just knowing that you were able to finish Burgos?
I mean, it's a nice feather in the cap, maybe, but really, like you said, it's more about some guys, to be honest. Yeah, Jeremy, the way he did things, and it all went down.
The hotel thing, right? Like the whole, we got to book this fight.
I don't think I'm really rooting for him post-fight, because he said something nice at the end, but he talked a lot of shit, went a lot of ways about getting the fight, and then when he got it, showing up unprofessionally, 5 pounds overweight, and just all the bullshit. I didn't really like that, but Burgos, class act, man, handled his, it was a great fight, and it was respectful before, after, just kind of, the all good vibes stuff. You got my respect, man, and so I root for him every time he steps in there, along with a couple other guys that I fought, and it just depends on how it goes, for you to root for him. But yeah, Burgos, I definitely like to watch fight, and the kid's an exciting fighter, man. He puts it on every time, and you see his fights, man. They're fun to watch. But that was a good one, man. Congrats to Emmett. That was a big W, and hopefully he gets better soon, man. That's tough, man. Those injuries, they suck.
All right, you didn't think we were going to get out of this interview without talking about the Patriots. They signed Cam Newton. Your thoughts? I got to hear the Calvin Kattar thoughts on this.
Yeah, man, Superman coming out. Hey, if in Bill we trust, he says Cam's the guy. Cam's the guy.
No, I think it's such an interesting move because if anyone can make Cam Newton perform at a high level, it's Bill Belichick. That guy's a genius. Are you going to go buy one of those hats that Cam wears? The kind of the Indiana Jones hat.
I love to. Yeah, I mean, we got to give him a couple games first. When he starts playing well,
then you'll get on. Then you'll go and get some. Yeah,
I'll get me a hat. I like to get me some sideline tickets, man. Hopefully, get the job done on the 15th.
Talk to Dana White. Maybe instead of going on the mic and asking for a performance bonus, maybe just get some Patriots tickets instead or something.
That's what I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him that I like where your head's at. I'm going to instead of my fight bonus, because I ain't getting those anyway. Send me some damn season pass sideline tickets.
There you go.
It's not season sidelines, but it sounds like a good setup.
A man with his priorities straight. I like that, Calvin. Thanks so much for the time as always, man. Really appreciate it. Anything you want to plug? Any sponsors, social media? The floor is yours.
Hey, everybody bitching about not having any cartel swag. Check it out. We got links out there. We got some new merchandise. Follow us on the YouTube page. Keep up to date with camp and fight week stuff. And just good talking to you, James. And hope to get together again, man, post fight and talk about a nice W.